Yuri Kochiyama, a Japanese-American human rights activist, once said, "Life is not what we make it alone. Life is by the people who touched it, the inputs from experiences that encountered it. We are part of one another." I would like to take you on a journey. Let us time travel. I will take you back in 1980s. I was in primary 3. Those days, seeing a foreigner, it was a privilege. Getting to interact with the foreigner, it was like you're on cloud 9. I happened to see a foreigner when I was heading back to home from my school. Now in primary 3, we were not taught English at all because it would start from grade 5. And I wanted to interact with her. I knew that yes, time is the word from English language. So I just ran and stood in front of her, literally jumped. Because I did not know there are some golden words like excuse me, thank you and all. As I jumped in front of her, she startled. But she shared a smile, and I was already on cloud 9. As I wanted to ask her, I showed my wrist to her, and I said, time, 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 thinking that she might not understand if I just say once. And she did say something, which till date, I don't know what it was. But that was the moment which connected me with the future. That was the time when I decided I need to learn English language so that I can speak fluently with everyone. And here I am in front of you, talking to you, telling how things connect. My passion for learning languages might have hidden in those moments, in that particular moment. That moment made it extraordinary. So let us figure out how things are connected. Imagine a quiet afternoon, a child sitting with a glass of water in his hand, rain tapping on window sills gently. Very ordinary, right? Normal. But the question pops in the mind of that child, where is this water coming from? Makes it extraordinary, right? Yes. And then the child thinks, yes, it comes from a tap. But to a tap, from a tank. To a tank, from river. To river, from rain. Rain makes clouds. Okay? So cloud forms rains. Maybe from oceans to clouds, because we all know the water cycle. Now, that water does not remain water for that child. It is forming a story. It is making connections with history. Maybe this water was there before me, the child thinks. Maybe this water was there when dinosaurs were there. Maybe this water flown through the ancient rivers. Maybe this water was there forever. Because science tells us matter never disappears. Imagine the child walks to a beach holding sand in his hand. The sand sliding through fingers. As the sand is sliding, the child wonders, was it sand forever? Another ordinary moment making it extraordinary with a question. Was that sand forever? No. Maybe it was part of a mountain, tall, strong, unbreakable, but reshaped with water, with wind, with glaciers. Though strong, maybe got eroded, the part of it which got converted into sand later. Doesn't it show connection? I would say not just connection, a continuation. Again, because matter is constant, it transforms. Let me take you on a journey to a landform full of sands, a desert, Sahara Desert. All of us, we know it. But do you know, once it was savanna, And before even it was savanna, it was forest, filled with lush green trees, millions of years ago, right? So you can see it is transforming, it is changing, it is connecting. Recent study by NASA shows that recently the rain patterns are changing, adding more floods to the region where Sahara is, the Sahel region, especially the Chad, Sudan, these areas. Now what is happening? Is nature reversing? Is it going back to make Sahara again savanna and then again rainforest? Quite possible. We might not know, but maybe another millions years it might take to complete that cycle. So maybe again the nature is changing. Matter remains the same. Only thing is it transforms, right? It is constant. So these are all showing us continuation, connections, which are we see everywhere as we move along. The question comes then where it begins. Is there an origin to it, or it just goes cyclic? Yes, but there has to be somewhere the origin hidden, right? Questions might be there. Where do I come from? What am I made up of? A study by Gurumurthy Arti and others claims that human is connected with planets. The elements planets have are there in us completely. You might wonder, what is this? Maybe I'm taking it to spirituality? No, but it is the fact. It is science again. Sun controls our heart, moon, brain. The study shows that nature is human and human is nature. The universe cause is macrocosm, while we are the tiny part, microcosm. We are all linked with those 5 elements: earth, sky, space, air, okay, fire, water. All these 5 elements we get from nature and we return them back. So when we are born, we get them. When we are gone, we return. And that again shows a continuation, a connection. This might be far-fetched connection you might think. Let me take you to a connection which is very close to our heart, which is very divine, most magnificent, most powerful connection, the mother's womb. All of us, we know how we are born. Okay? The connection with our mother, which shows us the umbilical cord, the navel point, or the belly button, what we call commonly. What do you think? The science says that belly button is not just belly button, it's a second brain of human. How, you might wonder, right? But it is the first thing which has used to absorb things for a fetus before even the child is born. It absorbs food, oxygen, it absorbs information and secrets. You might have heard about Abhimanyu, right? So this umbilical cord, this belly button is showing us another connection. Science recently also has claimed that the child's cell or the fetus cell remains in the body of the mother, which takes me to another very fascinating study which is done by Dr. Monica, which talks about the mitochondrial DNA connection of human, which traces back to subcontinental or Indian subcontinent. We all know the great human migration. Millions of years ago, human migrated from Africa and moved on to the rest of the world. And we know that it is truth. It is a truth. However, the recent studies around 2004, 2003, Dr. Monica claimed that the modern human traces goes back to subcontinent, Indian subcontinent or South Asian countries. As early human, the Australopithecus, the Homo habilis, Homo erectus, as they moved out of Africa, okay, the resources that they encountered with The environment where they got connected changed their genes pattern. Jared Diamond mentions in his book Collapse that resources are connecting us with the nature, resources are making us, and resources are breaking us. In his book, Jared Diamond, in his book Guns, Germs, and Steel, talks about how resources are leading us to development, are leading us to fall. So it is all about connections, how we use them. Coming back to this, the traces, because of the resources, how genes evolved, trace back to subcontinent of India. And mitochondrial DNA is a matrilinear or lineage which connects us to the subcontinent of India than rather to Africa. And that's how you can see that we are, though different, we are very same. We have similar ancestors. We have similar mitochondrial DNA connections. These things we are all studying in different subjects at school, isn't it? But do you think we study subjects in isolation? I was teaching population studies in my class, and I asked students to draw a demographic transition model to understand where do country lie, what developmental stage. Now a student stood up and asked me, are we having art class that you are asking me to draw? Of course not. But it is important to know arts in order to study history. It is important to know languages in order to study art, because you can express your art through language as well, what you want to say through your art. You need to know maths to study arts, because you have to use proportions there. So, my dear audience, we can see that even the subjects cannot be studied in isolation, they are all connected. So these things we can see closely that how entire thing is a connection, forming a true connection for us to look at it holistically. I will take you to another story of my life. I was heading to college, and as I was stepping out of my society gate, I saw two gentlemen coming. One of them was my dad's father. I shared a smile, I greeted him, and I walked out. As I stepped further, I realized that, oh, I forgot my assignment which was due today. And because I was close by, I rushed back home to take it. I entered my house and I saw those two gentlemen sitting with my dad talking on something, maybe. I just greeted again. I entered my room, collected my assignment, and I was about to step out. The uncle I knew called me and said, oh, you must be knowing the information we need. Of course, those days, we cannot say no outright. Though in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm getting late. But I have to say, yes, uncle. And then he asked me about the apartments which are vacant in our society. Being an extrovert person, I knew almost everything that was happening in the society. And so I could give them the list of apartments, one of which was in my building only. After a few months, I got to know that a new family moved in my building. I was not aware that it was the same uncle, because I used to be out most of the times, as my house and my school were almost 50 kilometers away, and I used to leave morning and come back mostly at night. But my friends were my, informers, used to give me all details. And then I got to know that it was the same family whom I let know the apartments. You might wonder, what is the connection here? The connection is that I'm part of that family now for past 30 years. And the same uncle who I did not know is my father-in-law. So, my dear audience, do you see, this is how the past connects us to future, and the present and the future. The question is not where it all connects. The question is, are you willing to see it? Are you willing to see how we are all connected? We are all connected with the air we breathe in, the ground beneath us, the stars above us. And finally, as you step out of this room, I want to remind you I want to make you think that you are not a separate entity. You are part of something bigger. You are part of something continuous. You are part of something beautifully connected. So finally, my dear audience, this is where it all connects. Thank you.